Do you know what really sucks? Is sitting down to edit your project and realizing that you have gaps in your coverage or shots missing. You need to have a really good, specific, and detailed shot list. Head over to filmmakersecrets.com/shot list, SHOTLIST, to get a killer shot list template along with some training where I show you step by step exactly how to use it. And with his wise old age and, all of the life experiences that he went through, he was a big proponent of living in the here and now. Filmmakers have the power to evoke emotion, inspire thought, and drive universal change in this world. Right now, a real seismic shift is happening in the film industry. This is your best chance to join a new filmmaking movement. You have been called to create an everlasting impact with your unmatched, deep desire to tell authentic stories. So how does a filmmaker thrive in an environment that is almost intentionally designed to bring you down? That is the question, and this podcast reveals the answer. Welcome to Filmmaker Secrets. What's happening, filmmakers? It's George VK. Welcome to Filmmaker Secrets podcast, episode number 10. And I'm coming at you live on Facebook, as well as from the beautiful Denver, Colorado. It is absolutely gorgeous in Colorado. I love it here. The mountains, the people, the Rocky Mountain oysters. The weather is crap. It's like, hey, here's 5 seasons in one day, right? Where it starts off with a little bit of snow, and then it melts and it turns to summer. Then there's a little bit of spring, maybe some fall thrown in there. But I love it. It's beautiful. The view is gorgeous. And, I used to tell myself that I would never leave Colorado because it's just a perfect combination of nature, people, the city, the vibrant lifestyle. But who knows? I don't know. Nobody knows. And that brings me to the topic of this solo episode, and that is living in the here and now. So often I think that we as humans worry about the past or what will happen in the future. All that time that we spend worrying about the things that we can't control. It's really interesting that we worry about that and spend so much time worrying about the past and the future, which are things that we absolutely have no power over. We cannot change those things unless we focus on the here and now. What we actually can control, what we do have power over, which is the here and now, the current moment. This was a concept and something that my grandpa would always tell us, live in the here and now. And with his wise old age and, all of the life experiences that he went through, he was a big proponent of living in the here and now, because that is something that we absolutely can control. And that is also something that will allow you to live your life to the fullest. And it's interesting because he would always tell us stories. Every summer, my brother and I would go visit my grandparents in a tiny little village close to Moscow. It's an overnight train ride, but it was called Vidlushskaya. And it was some of my most grandest, most enjoyable memories of my childhood are in that village. Just a simple life with cattle walking around, and everybody's got their own garden, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. I have very fond memories of my brother and my friend Paul and I hanging out in the cherry orchard. There was a small little cherry orchard of cherry trees in their garden. We built like a little makeshift casino where we would play cards day in and day out. Anytime you could reach up and grab a cherry, eat it, and spit out the pits. But my grandpa would always tell me stories, and they were usually the same stories. And when I was young, I didn't really understand. I would complain like, Grandpa, we've already heard this story. Why are you telling us to us again? But it was his way of really introducing us to this wonder of storytelling. He would practice telling the same stories over and over again to us, which was his way of connecting to his grandchildren, which now, years later, it's something that I really understand, and I try to practice and put it into my own life and my own sort of everyday routine, where I try to tell stories and tell the same stories over and over again, because they get better, they get exaggerated, certain facts get skewed, right? But that is the art of storytelling. If you know the game telephone, where one person tells you a word or a phrase, and then you have to pass it on without anybody else hearing, and eventually that word or phrase gets skewed so much that typically it's going to be something completely different by the end when it comes around to the last person. And that is really the idea of storytelling, because everybody has their own perspective, their own personal life experiences that they pull from, and thus storytelling becomes this really interesting and intriguing way of connecting with others. And that's what filmmaking is. We all have our different perspectives, different ways of telling stories, or different perspectives that we infuse into our films. And so that, when you ask your friend what that film is about, they will most likely have a slightly different answer from you. And so that's really, this hoity-toity kind of uppity concept. But I think it's really important for us filmmakers to really understand, living in the here and now, what is the story that you are telling? Don't worry about so much about the past, freaking out about what you said to somebody or what somebody said to you. It already happened. You already made that decision, or that thing already happened to you. Let it go. Don't worry about so much about the future. What will my film be like? Will it be a success? Will it get into film festivals? Will it get distribution? Will a good amount of people see it that I will feel fully satisfied with my work? There's a famous business coach. His name's Garrett J. White. And he has this brilliant quote that I will probably butcher, but it's something along the lines of, at the beginning, you will suck. You will suck so much, and you will continue sucking until you start sucking a little less. And then eventually you're going to suck so little that you will actually have something of value. And I think that's really important for us to realize, that if we live in the here and now, we are focusing on what is happening at this very current moment, what we can control, what we have power over, that eventually, with more moments and more past time, with more projects under our belt, more experiences on a film set, more storytelling moments where we're sharing whatever stories that we want to tell, we're going to start to suck less and less. Okay? And I think that this concept of the here and now it's actually something that I want to get tattooed on my arm, and I don't advertise it all too often because I think I'm a little bit worried about marking my skin and my body for, eternity. Although I heard that they make tattoos that are pretty easy to remove now, which kind of defeats the whole point, right? It's something that you commit to for the rest of your life. But here and now, and if you guys are curious, in Russian it's «Я здесь и сейчас», is a concept that I believe very strongly in, and I think you yourself should find a way to implement that into your life, because it's going to make it so much easier to deal with the things that are constantly coming up in our lives. All the worries of, what we said to somebody on set, perhaps we shouldn't have phrased it that way, or what will people think of me if I want to tell this story or shoot this film? All those things will become much easier to deal with and get over if you remind yourself to live in the here and now. So that's it, filmmakers. I hope that was helpful. I hope you found some value from it. If you did, please go ahead and rate the show wherever you listen to podcasts. I really appreciate it. Take a screenshot of your podcast app with Filmmaker Secrets on it. Post it on social. Tag me, filmmaker.secrets on Instagram or at Filmmaker Secrets on Facebook. And tag me in it. I would love to see your posts. And I would obviously be eternally grateful to you, because any small act of sharing and any small act of reaching out is going to really help out other filmmakers get exposed to the content. And you'll be able to share it, at least with that one person that will see it. And obviously, I will be absolutely eternally grateful to you for doing that. Perhaps I'll do a giveaway pretty soon here, but more on that later. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you hanging out with me for the few minutes that you can spare during your day. There's some amazing interviews with some fantastic filmmakers that are coming down the pipe for Filmmaker Secrets podcast, and I hope you enjoy them. If you do, tell a friend, tell your filmmaking buddies. Filmmaker Secrets podcast. Again, it's George VK. I'll catch you on the next one. If you like that, then you are going to love my Cine Racing Challenge. This is a 7-day filmmaking competition where your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to write, shoot, and edit a short 60-second film in just 7 days for your one chance to win with over $10,000 in prizes. So head over to cineracing.com. That's cineracing.com to get registered. Spots are filling up fast and the timer is ticking before the next Cine Racing Challenge launches. So be sure to head over to cineracing.com right now to get registered. I'll see you over there.